All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to TRF Channel 1 News. I'm Andrew Wilson, and I'm here with sportswriter Mr. David Harrison. Thank you so much for joining us, sir, today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I appreciate the invite. How are you?
Yes, I'm good too. Just doing good. Now, to start off, as a sports writer, which sport would you say gives you more time to write on? Which one gives you the most challenges?
I mean, football definitely is the most time consuming for me because that's my primary area of responsibility as it is anyway. I'm primarily covering the Washington Commanders for the NFL, and then also doing some things with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that I've been covering them since about 2015. So that's my longest, I guess, avenue that I cover. But I also do a little bit of basketball. I don't really write anything about any other sports. So football is definitely the dominant sport in my schedule.
Oh wow, it's really good, sir. Now, at what point in your career did you know that sports writing was your calling? At what point?
Well, so getting onto the sports writing path. So I was actually in the army at the time. And so what actually happened is one of my best friends in the army actually got killed in Afghanistan, and going through that experience, he and I, like one of our one of our initial bonding experience was talking about football. I'm an Ohio State fan because my father raised me right. He's a Florida Gator fan, and at the time the Florida Gators in football and basketball were doing a number on the Ohio State programs. So he had a lot of fun with those conversations. But talking about sports and trash talking, of course, but also just kind of bonding over sports was one of the biggest things that he and I had. So after he was killed, it sent me kind of through some things and trying to figure out how to kind of process that and move forward. And I just came to the realization that the army wasn't going to be the rest of my life; it was going to be a part of my life. And if I was going to do something after my time in the army was up, I wanted to do something that one I could enjoy, be good at, but also something that kind of, if you want to call it, honor him, to use that term, that's fair as well. And so, yeah, so I kind of just got started on the path, and it's taken me where I am now, and it's one of those things that as I hit milestones, I continue to look back on him and our relationship. And when I retired from the army, his wife told me it was almost like he was retiring, through me because we were on kind of the same path years wise, and all those things. And as I do other things like get to cover Florida Gator players, for example, like every time I talk to a Florida Gators player, it always reminds me of him and the good times that we had. So it's been a little bit therapeutic for me, but also giving me a second path to walk on after my time in the military was up.
Mm, Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that happened. But in your career, would you, all right, in your career, who would you say is your biggest supporter right now?
I mean, you have to say my wife, right? Because she's the one who's putting up with all of it, all the travel and all the, I got to work at the moment, drop of a hat. Literally just the other day, she was actually helping me out, making me some lunch because I was working. And I said, hey, I'm going to have some time, from this time to this time, I'll have a little bit of a window available to eat. And she was like, well, I'll make you something. So I'm not just grabbing, random crap out of the pantry or whatever. And as she's making me food, to make sure that I'm eating better, which I don't do a very good job of on my own. Literally, something pops up, and now she's basically cooked this food, and it's just going to get microwaved, and it's going to be cold anyway. And she stays patient with that, and she understands, and something that we were able to establish long ago before sports even, but something that she knows to this day, and helps her. I wouldn't say like it or agree with it necessarily, but at least be able to accept the way that this works is if I don't have to work, I won't be working. Like I would rather be with her, rather be with our kids, rather be spending family time, enjoying. I don't say not enjoying my life when I work, but enjoying the life that we've built. So if I'm not doing that right now, it's because I need to do whatever it is that I'm doing, and that kind of helps her balance just the understanding of just sports journalism is it's a 24/7 business. There are no holidays, there's no days off, there's no real vacation. So it's just one of those lives, and yeah, so for that reason, I have to say it's been her because more than clicking an article or watching an episode, she lives my job more than anybody else.
That's nice. I love to hear it. Now, as a writer, is there any specific player or coach that you love writing about in your career?
Oh. I mean, I think every topic and every subject kind of brings its own, certain kind of value. I like bringing up or evaluating kind of the lesser known side of things. You know what I mean? And again, kind of going back to the original motivation for me getting into this business. Like, I'm not a guy that I wouldn't expect to find me ever breaking a scandal or ever breaking a failed drug test. You know what I mean? I'm more into this business because I love competition. I love the struggle of battle and strategic and technical parts of it, and then the chess game within the game that you see on the field. But also, I also like shedding a light on the people. You know what I mean? So when a guy like Terry McLaurin, reaches out to children or foster families or any of the numerous areas he does work in, I like shedding a light on those things. I like writing those human interest piece and kind of just letting people know that these players are doing more than catching, throwing, tackling, doing these kinds of things. But I also like, when I can, if I can kind of get a beat on something that says, hey, this guy who maybe nobody really expects to do something really great might be someone who's on the verge of doing something solid. I really kind of like those moments as well. So when I do a show or I do an article and I say, Brian Robinson is a guy who could be really effective against the Seattle Seahawks defense, and he goes out there and has a 51-yard touchdown catch and run. I really enjoy those moments, not because it makes me look correct or smart, but because I talk to Brian. You know what I mean? And like I see him on the field and I see the work he puts in. I see the sweat that he's dripping when he comes in from practice. And we've talked about his desire to have, some of the big plays for his team and to be able to come through for them. So in those moments, while I'm watching him on the field, I kind of know the human spirit behind what he's doing, and I also get excited because I get to talk about it later with them. Unfortunately, when they lose, that spirit isn't as high, but you still get to talk to these guys about their personal achievements and kind of see that excitement come through for them. So those are kind of the things. There's not one guy I would say I guess that I enjoy writing about more than another, but just those experiences alone just really kind of keep me energized in what I do.
Thank you, sir. Well, unfortunately, that is all we have today. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Harrison. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, man, appreciate you. Have a good one.
Yes, I'm Andrew Wilson, and you've been watching TRF Channel 1 News.